I think it's quite possible that they do. Cooperation between North Korea and Iran on ballistic missiles and on nuclear weapons goes back a long way. And in fact, in the as far back as the 1990s, North Korea was providing Iran with elements of its own missile program derived from Cold War era Soviet Scud missile technology, which the Soviet Union had also provided to Iran. So this joint work goes back a long way. I don't think we can say with confidence how deep the cooperation is, but it's on the ballistic missile side. But I think it's very real, and it leads to further questions about cooperation on the nuclear side, and now cooperation on drones, cyber warfare, and a host of other issues too. Certainly well known in the Middle East, but the Syrian reactor, the reactor being built in the Syrian desert, actually being built by Iran, that Israel bombed in September of 2007, was an exact copy of the Yongbyon reactor in North Korea. And there were North Korean scientists and technicians present at this construction in Syria. So these are pieces of evidence that are well known, really undisputed. We don't know what other cooperation there may be, but there's ample reason to believe there's more. And the reason is very straightforward. Iran is a wealthy oil-producing country that doesn't have nuclear weapons, at least not yet. North Korea is a desperately poor country, energy poor in particular, that does have nuclear weapons. How hard is it to figure out a deal that could be made there? Well, I think North Korea is becoming more and more dangerous. I think really we've moved into a new foreign policy era in the past year. The post-Cold War era is behind us, and what we're faced with looking forward is a new Chinese-Russian axis with outliers like North Korea, like Iran, Syria, Belarus, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua. Very different from the Sino-Soviet alliance of the Cold War, because the Chinese are the senior partner this time, Russia's the junior partner. But what North Korea has been up to has been very much in aid to what the Russians have been doing, and perhaps in the Middle East. And it's made North Korea stronger because for the first time now in decades, North Korea has a better relationship with Russia, and as happened in prior days, but not recently, North Korea can now really play China off against Russia. It's been dependent on China for 30 years or more, not since Kim's grandfather was in charge in North Korea, but now North Korea's position really is more equal between the two. As I say, if you go back to Kim Il-sung and the beginning of North Korea, he was in the middle between China and Russia. Kim Il-sung knew how to maneuver between the two communist giants, and incredibly, Kim Jong-un has, I think, succeeded in regaining that position. So he's selling artillery and ammunition to Russia, possibly other things, and I think that Russian veto was part payment for the assistance that North Korea provided. I think this needs to be carefully studied in South Korea, because it means overall the situation on the peninsula is more dangerous now than it was before, that Kim's relative power in that world is greater than it was before. And as he gets closer to deliverable nuclear weapons, which it's a tragedy we didn't stop much earlier, the threat to South Korea, to Japan, to the U.S., I think becomes more and more serious. Well, I hope not. I think I didn't view the results as bad as some people did. I mean, President Yoon's party did not have a majority in parliament before the election. Now his party's even smaller, which is not good from his point of view. But I think under the South Korean system, it really is the president who calls the shots on national security, as it really is in the United States. So I don't see any change in the near term, but I think this is really a question within South Korea. I would hope there would be more debate, more public consideration of the North Korean Chinese threat. I think there's, for example, a greater appreciation these days in South Korea that a Chinese threat to Taiwan is functionally a threat to South Korea as well. And there just needs to be more debate and more discussion so that South Korea can be prepared against the threats that I see growing.